Dr. Joe has joined us as we venture out on this office on a really tough mission. It's a tough office today. So if you want to firm up your body, you head to the gym. What about if you want to firm up your mind? We all love listening to music and our favourite songs and artists, but what do we get from listening to music? To answer, I'm joined by psychology expert Dr. Joe Lukens. Good morning.
Good morning,
I'm
Susan.
sorry to have you come to places like this with the beautiful blue skies and ocean out the window.
It is spectacular, isn't it?
It is.
All of the time, but particularly so today.
Yes.
It's beautiful out there.
Good for your mind, I think,
Very
Dr.
good,
Joe.
very good for your mind.
Now, what are some of the benefits, physical benefits that we gain from listening to music?
This is one of the interesting things, is it's not only the mental benefits that we get from listening to music. We've all just listened to the Sunny Boys and probably tapped along our feet as we've listened to that, but we know that there's physical benefits that people also gain from listening to music. So if you've ever maybe somehow by some miracle not felt like going to the gym but managed to get there, and you walk in and you hear the music, maybe that's enough to get you moving, or you might listen to music through your earpods, something like that, if you're going out for a walk. So one of the things we do know is that music certainly helps us in terms of performing our exercise and our endurance. We also know with things such as pain, it really helps people to manage pain for a number of different reasons, and in part it's a little bit of distraction for us as well when we're listening to music if we're in some physical discomfort. We know that it really helps us in terms of improving our quality of sleep, and even helps boost our immune function, so reducing our stress levels and increasing antibodies.
It's pretty incredible, isn't it?
It is very powerful. It's not just something nice to do, which we do all the time when we listen to the radio, but there's actual benefits for us both physically and mentally.
It's interesting because I think of when I listen to music, and there's some songs that I can't listen to at some times because I just think, oh, that just song makes me too sad, or I might go, I need to listen to some happy music. What are some of the mental benefits and things that we gain from listening to music as well? What good is it for our mind?
Yeah, you tap into that really key point there, Susan, that what music does for us is it connects us emotionally, and you can hear a song from long ago and it can bring back the feelings and the memories and so forth. So we really do mentally tie music into our experiences. People might have a wedding song, or anyone who's ever been on a Kentucky trip will know they always play a song to you at 6 a.m. and I think 30 years later I can still remember that song. We see a lot of those benefits, but we know that music, like you say, it can increase our stress or it can decrease our stress. It can certainly help us to improve our mood, can help our mental performance as well. So there might be particular music you listen to and it helps you to concentrate and work on a task. As I said before, it brings back memories and emotions, and it even helps us to be more productive and more creative.
That sounds very good. So what happens in our brain when we listen to music?
There's a range of things that actually happen for us in terms of how we process music, and through those mechanisms it allows us to absorb the music and what's going on, and then that sets the tone, and we often have that self-commentary like you said. Sometimes I'm just not up for that song today, or I really need to listen to this particular song. So we see that change, and we also see different levels of activation in the brain depending on the type of music that we're listening to. As listeners of the ABC, we know you play great music, so which is
well
great.
Done, Dr. Joe.
Yes,
good work. 10 points.
but depending on what type of music that you like, it really can make significant changes in the brain and what we tune into.
So Dr. Joe, psychology expert, what music is the best for us then?
The good news is there doesn't seem to be any research that says it's going to be a particular type of music. So whether it's rock and roll or jazz or hip hop, classical, whatever your preference is, it really seems it will connect for you. So there has been some studies that looked at whether particular music will make you smarter. I know when my children were very young, there were suggestions that classical music would actually, you could buy these products and listen to classical music and it's actually called the Mozart effect.
Yeah.
And so certainly if classical music is what you want to listen to, then that's great, but it's not that there's a particular type of music. But we do know that we do tend to go back historically through our memories, and so therefore we resonate with the good old days of whatever those old days were for us.
Yeah. Is it that we have to check in with our mind and body to go, this is the music that's jiving for me right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's one of the nice things now with lots of different ways to listen to music is you can set up playlists and so forth, and people might even find that resonates for them. I know for me, depending on what I'm working on, I like to listen to music while I'm working, but there's some tasks that I do that I absolutely cannot listen to music.
Yes.
I need that silence for concentration. So we do see those varieties there, but it's really about understanding ourselves, being mind-wise, understanding what music that we do, and then exposing ourselves to those.
What can we learn from the birds, Dr. Jo?
From the birds. So this, I have to confess, I didn't know this until I went and dug around and did some research, but there's a neuroscientist by the name of Dr. Segoya, and he found that canaries actually stop singing every autumn when their brain cells that are responsible for song generation die. Now, before that becomes a very sad story, the good news is that over the winter months, the neurons actually grow back, and then the birds relearn their songs for the next spring. The conclusion that was made from this is that perhaps music might increase what's called neurogenesis, which is how the neurons are formed in the brain. So that notion that it's good for our brains and activities, and certainly we see for people who are going through life experiences like Alzheimer's or dementia, those kinds of experiences, music can really help to bring back memories and to bring back quality of life.
Dr. Jo Lukens, thank you very much for your time as we enjoy the soundtrack of a group of prep school children who've just arrived. Your next ABC News update is coming up in under 5 minutes. You're on ABC Radio Queensland. Good morning.